Welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. I am Brad. Today we're talking about the Boston Bruins versus the Buffalo Sabres in the first round. Buffalo breaking a 14-year playoff drought. Now it follows now to the the Detroit Red Wings, which is the team that I cheer for the most. And they now have a 10-year one, and Buffalo is just killing it. They won the freaking Atlantic Division, and they nailed this. They did a great job. And the reward is versus Buffalo or Boston. So Boston is no slouch. This turnaround has been really great for them. I had them missing the playoffs, and so they surprised me. I mean, I bought both these teams in the playoffs, and I was shown that I was wrong. So let's review these. Let's go over let's go over the Boston, then we'll go over Buffalo, kind of just showing some of the comparisons, and we'll go some statistics and what they did. So moving into how do they change their lineup this past year? Like, what did they do? Was this Boston a seller or were they a buyer? And overall, like a couple moves here and there, a couple AHL, like some bets. I mean, they got Lucas Reichel for like a 6th-round pick from Vancouver. Not a huge one right there. But like, yeah, I mean, really, it's a lot of AHL moves. It wasn't anything big needle movers. They were not a huge buyer. They actually even have 2 first-round picks this season because they have the Toronto Maple Leafs plus the their own. So, I mean, it's crazy that you can make playoffs and not trade a first-round pick. And again, I'm thinking Detroit. Unfortunately, they traded the first-round pick and they still missed the playoffs. So, but I mean, let's talk about the team. Actually, I mean, you're looking at the David Pastrnak, of course, always good for a huge amount of points, 100 points in 77 games. Morgan Geekie still looking like a phenomenal bet on them. 39 goals this season, 68 points. Elias Lindholm, is he filling out that contract? No. But he's still useful, 48 points, 69 games. Would you like a little bit more out of your center depth? Sure, but I don't know how much there is out there. He was the best center on the market at the free agency when they signed him. Doesn't mean he was the best. He's a good option still. So looking at some of the players, you have Casey Middlestad, 42 points. Pavel Zacha's working out 65 points, 78 games. Victor Arvidsson, a huge bounce back season, 54 points this season. Looking at what last year with the Edmonton Oilers when he got traded from Edmonton, he only had 27 points in the same number of games, and he doubled his point total. So a huge bounce back for them. So really big fan of that and what's happening there. So yeah, Fraser Mitten was still looking like a good bet, almost half a point per game for a depth third there. You know, and then your Jeannot, Mark, Kastelic, Sean Corrali, those and your good bets and Marat Kustendinov. Marat Kustendinov, he was a trade for the Minnesota Wild. Good bet, almost a half point per game player, and a Boston team that just is looking very good. So the biggest incoming for the Boston Bruins was their 7th overall pick that they got last draft. Goes to Boston College, has 47 points in 34 games, almost 1.4 points per game. They bring him in. He's played 2 games, got 1 point, but again, he's a 7th overall draft pick. This guy was projected to go in the top 3. At 7th, it was a great value right there. So they bring him in. He's playing here. I mean, we're already starting to see that with Porter Martone, who was a high caliber draft pick from last year as well. That Philly got some great value from him as well. He's already looking phenomenal as well. So with James Higgins, you're like, okay, what's going to happen with this guy? Can he perform? Absolutely, he can perform. So I think this is a good bet. It's a good young youth you're bringing in, again, a high draft pick, highly regarded prospect. So I'm really excited to see how he performs. Again, he's been capable, clearly played really well. So this team's in a good spot. Again, they have 5 draft picks in the next 3 seasons, and they're making the playoffs. Like, who's this, the Carolina Hurricanes? Like, just keeping first-round draft picks. It's impressive, man. So moving on to the defense, Charlie McAvoy, who missed a ton of time last year. He's got 61 points, 69 games. He's your biggest mover when it comes to points for them. You have, of course, Hampus Lindholm and Mason Lohrei, not huge point getters, but like they're putting up like a point every 3 games. So Nikita Zadorov is a mutant. He's a monster. He's 6'7". He's going to destroy everything in his way. So again, this is a good defense core. Again, Charlie McAvoy is your puck mover. I think he eventually, or your puck moving defenseman, but I think he's going to be your captain, in my opinion. got 4 more years left. He's 28 years old. I mean, you can extend him, keep him around for a while. I think it's either him, or I could see Pasternak, but I don't know if he wants to see. Like, you know what I mean? Pasternak, it's like putting William Nylander at center or as a captain. It's like, yeah, they're great performers, but maybe they just don't want that spotlight. I think Charlie McAvoy, I think there's some, like, it's rare to see a captain who is not Canadian or American. It just is, because, I mean, they play in countries that are predominantly English speaking. So when English is your second language, it can be a little more difficult to get the words out. I mean, of course, we've seen Sasha Barkov, we've seen Nicholas Lidstrom, you know, Sasha Barkov being Finland, and then you have Nicholas Lidstrom, first European-born captain to win the Stanley Cup. So again, it's not this impossible. It's just not the tradition, right? If you look across the league. So I think it's great. And again, Andrew Peeke was a good little pickup from them. This is a couple of years ago, but I was surprised when they did that one. And just little pieces that are working out really well. Good bets, kind of similar to what we're seeing in Pittsburgh. Some guys that are good bets that are working out well for them. So, of course, you have goaltending. Swayman's taking the majority of the workload in this case. Good numbers, a 908 save percentage, which is very good. 29 goals saved above expected. That's a crazy. He's saving 29 more goals than expected. And even Korpisalo just had a solid 0 saves what's expected. That lets in what's supposed to go in. But I think Swayman's the numbers are looking really, really good. So I'm really impressed with that. Of course, they have some youth too. They have Matthew Poitras. Like, there's some good youth in the system. It's just exciting to see what's going to end up happening with this team. I think, again, you got some guys who have seen a lot of playoffs, right? Pasternak, Lindholm, both Lindholm's been in the playoffs. Like, you've seen McAvoy's been in the playoffs, but a lot of these guys, I mean, there's a good diverse youth, and there's a bit good, there's a good balance of like youth and older players in this case, which I'm kind of surprised with. But it'll be like, again, it's also Boston DNA. This is a team. They know how they play. They know the culture. Like, the culture supersedes the player, right? Like, when they put on that Boston crest, they know what type of role they're looking to play, what the juice is going to be squeezed out of them. Like, they know that they're going to be pushed hard, but they know it's all worth it. So they're all rowing in the same direction. That's good for a Boston team. So moving on to the Buffalo Sabres, again, missing the playoffs for 14 years. It's very exciting, winning the division, just coming out and swinging. It is good to see. I see the biggest bonus when it comes to the Buffalo Sabres is you're seeing a lot of good first 3 lines when it comes to points. You're seeing a good distribution. Fourth line you see less of, but I think the distribution of points is pretty good to those top 3 lines. You have Tage Thompson, a point per game player. Alex Tuch, 66 points in 79 games. Definitely the consolation prize when it comes to the Eichel deal, but again, he's not a too shabby of a player. Needs a new contract this year. Peyton Krebs also part of the Eichel deal. You're getting half point per game out of him. It's not terrible. Again, you want like a little more, but it is what it is. So Jason Zucker's working out well. Brian McLeod, what a great trade from the Edmonton Oilers. This guy's working out really well as a second line center. Very impressed with him. 54 points in 81 games for a guy that I thought they lost the deal when they traded away. I don't even remember the prospect at this point. Like, I was really impressed with McLeod. I was like, why would you trade it for him? He's kind of just like a grunt. He had the Edmonton Oilers had 30 points in 81 games. I was like, what are we doing here, guys? It was Matthew Savoy, who was traded for, who was 20 years old at the time. I was like, man, he was a 9th overall pick. And really, like, Savoy's doing well, 37 points in 82 games with the Edmonton Oilers, so he's playing well as well. But again, one of the intangibles that Ryan McLeod brings is that a little bit more toughness, a little more grit to him. So it's a good either way, or it's good as well. Jack Quinn, 51 points in 82 games, really starting to break out. Love that. Zach Benson, so jealous. I wanted the scar instead of Nate Danielson. Hopefully Nate Danielson still works out, but I really liked the high-end ability of Zach Benson. 43 points, 65 games. Josh Norris, when he's healthy, 34 points in 44 games, produces. He produces when he's healthy. Probably only played half the games this season, so that's a tough part there. And Josh Doan, in my opinion, probably the winner when it comes to the Utah. Like, I think Buffalo wins the Utah Paterka trade. They get Josh Doan, and they get Michael Kessering, but Michael Kessering has only played 34 games, injured most of the season. Josh Doan is looking phenomenal. I'm curious how well is Peterka doing, because that was a big deal. Like, they're like, oh man, you're gonna trade away Peterka? Like, he is a monster. He put up 40. I mean, Peterka's 24, and Josh Doan is also 24. So, and you get Kessler and Doan out of this, and he's performing. They're both. Josh Doan is performing better than the guy who's supposedly the better player, which is crazy to me. I gotta love that. Love that. Of course, you have, and then to go into defense. I mean, Rasmus Dahlin. I mean, it's just been a menace this year. He's been stirring so much stuff up this year. 74 points, 77 games. I mean, come on. Matthias Samuelsson, 41 points, 78 games. What a great pairing. Of course, you have some more offensive power when it comes to Bowen Byram, 42 points in 82 games. 29 points for Owen Power. I'd like to see more out of that. But then also trade for Logan Stanley and is it Luke Shen? So you get some guys that are a little bit taller and tougher. Connor Timmins as well. So, I'm really excited about the defense. I think it's arguably one of the better defense cores in the league. I mean, I'd say top 5. I mean, again, the power you have with Dahlin, and Owen Power and Samson and Byram. It's a pretty high-end, like, young, talented team, and they're only going to get better. This is a team. I think there's only Jason Zucker's the only 30-year-old like that's consistently playing. Like, that tells you something right there. Everyone else is in the, like, you got like a Sam Carrick and everything, but I mean, it's not like you're not do anything crazy. And mind you, when they come to the trades this season, again, they picked up a Sam Carrick for this year, next year. They got Logan Stanley and Luke Shen as well. Tanner Pearson. They just built some good, like, key pieces. You're not trading anything big. You just trade a second round pick for when you're doing Logan Stanley and Luke Shen. But again, that's you get the opportunity to potentially resign Logan Stanley as well. So hopefully we'll see some benefits out of there. So again, I'm excited about these, and this is a good matchup. It'll kind of show if Buffalo is the frauds or if they're actually what they seem, I guess. You know what I mean? Because your team who can get hot at the right time, they started to slow down at the end of the year. Maybe they're trying to save their gas because they were doing so well. But if you look at the stats right now, like on the power play, like Sabres were 21st, was 9th. So Boston did better in the power play, but Boston can't rely on those to actually, as much, because the power plays don't happen as often in the playoffs. Penalty kill, Sabres was 4th, and the penalty kill was Sabres for 4th. Bruins are 24th. So even if Boston gets a power play, the chances of them scoring is pretty low, again, from Sabres just defending so well. When it comes to save percentage, I mean, you're going to lean on Swayman so much when it comes to Boston. And for Buffalo, we didn't even go over the goalies. You have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Colton Ellis, and Alex Lyon. I mean, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen had a great year this year. I mean, their save percentages are monsters. Colton Ellis even had his save percentage was good. His goals against weren't as good, but like, I mean, you're looking at 907 for Lyon, 910 for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 903 for Colton Ellis. Both or all three of them are sitting between a 2.5 and a 2.9 goals against. Like, it's pretty good goaltending. And so, which is nice to see, because it's something that, like, hey, you want to see that out of some of these goaltenders, because you're like, Alex Lyon, can we rely on him? It was 33, and he did drag the Florida Panthers into the playoffs. It would have been 2023, I believe. Yeah, 2023, because that was the year that Bob was not doing well, and then suddenly when Alex Lyon started to falter, Bob got his stuff together and took them all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Colton Ellis, what a great waiver pickup from them. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 27, hitting his prime. Love to see that from him. I think there's some UPL is going to look really good for this team. So it'll be really exciting, really cool. So moving on to the goals against. The Buffalo lets in the third least amount of goals. Wrong one. Sorry. The Buffalo's letting the 10th least goals, and then Boston's 14th, so they're very close and letting the same similar number of goals, which makes sense because their save percentage are very similar as well. Shots for Sabres are shooting more often, getting more shots on net. Shots against, they're both very similar in that. And the crazy thing is when you think about so what I emphasize a lot when it comes to playoff teams in which you want to rely on the stats. So I look at a lot of 5-on-5 goals because I understand you can capitalize on a power play, but you need to be able to score 5-on-5, especially when power plays dry up. And so when you're doing that, you have to look at how are they scoring. Buffalo is fourth most 5-on-5 goals in the league. Boston was eighth, so they're not too far behind. And the Sabres are letting in the ninth most 5-on-5 goals, whereas Boston's letting the fifth most. So like Sabres are scoring more on 5-on-5, but Boston is letting in less 5-on-5 goals. So again, that goes to goaltending, but you also need to be able to finish on those opportunities. So when I'm looking at the stats aren't too far apart in some of the ones that I emphasize a little more. So when you look at that, you look at, hey, do you look at the retool team in Boston, or do you look at the team that's young and up and coming who hasn't been here before, right? You look at an experienced team with some retool energy, or you're looking at like, hey, we haven't been here before. There's high excitement, a lot of youth. I'm leaning Buffalo in this one. I think you're riding such a hot hand in the team that has done so well. They're so excited. They want this so bad. So I'm really going with Buffalo in this case. I think this goes 7. I think it's gonna be tough when it comes to goaltending. I think Boston's goaltending will save, and I think Buffalo's goaltending could hurt them. So it depends on who they end up riding. I think UPL will be a great option. I think get some playoff experience with Lyon. I don't think you want to rely on Colton Ellis because it's just too young at this point. So let me know what your thoughts are. Again, I got Buffalo in 7. I'm really excited for them. It's so exciting to see a team like Buffalo get their opportunity back. And I think the fans over there are so passionate. You just want to see them get that reward for being there and sticking with the team for so long. So anyways, love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.